10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. How are we all doing? It's good to be back. Sparky's having a bit of trouble. It's quite funny. Sparky messaged me saying, I've left work early. I'm gonna get sorted. 5 minutes before the show, he sends me a text message with a picture of his laptop updating. He's not having much luck, the poor lad. Right, we'll run through the house rules as always. Welcome to the Fans Forum. Get your questions and views in the chat. It's very simple. I'm hosting. You guys can ask as many questions as you want, and we'll try and get round to them. We have a set sort of questions that we want to cover tonight, and the panel will be the ones answering the questions, and I'm going to stay quiet. Please like, share, subscribe, hype to support the channel. It's free, 99p if you want to join. Super chat in the bottom right hand corner if you want to donate, and what we do is we donate that money to charities of guests that we have on. So Gibbo, for example, to Azure charity. Please adhere to standard community guidelines, keep comments respectful, and of course enjoy the show. Dan says evening, he's waiting in the background. Helen's waiting in the background as well. And we've got Derek. Evening from Charles. Hey, Caitlin, Nick, not seen you for ages. How are you doing? It's great to see you back in the chat. Right. Dan's literally been sitting there like an idiot all. It's waiting to come on. All right, Dan. Cheers.
Up the mags. If you're not here to support the tune, get the out. Oh, there you go. Evening, Bass. Good to see you.
It's good to see you as well. Evening, Gary.
If memory serves, I believe this is a design from our sponsor.
It is.
There it is.
Get them in early. Why not?
Joe Spinney in Charlotte, North Carolina, and his family doing fantastic bespoke Newcastle-based merchandise. Check them out. Baz20 for 20% off your total purchase. Aha!
Link is in the description. We may not be in the chat, but we're always watching Baz, mate. Oh, that's nice, mate. Thanks for that. Really appreciate that. It's good to hear from you. I was actually going to message him, but I just work is crazy at the moment. It really is. Right, let's bring our other owner into the show. Hello.
Hi.
Good evening, Helen.
Good evening. You're right.
What a top that is.
Oh, I know. It's my second favourite, other than after the it escapes me now. It's similar to this one, but it hasn't got the collar. I think we needed some 90s representation tonight. So
there you go.
My favourite was the Way one, that version with the blue little brush white brush strokes on it. Amazing. I say it every single time, but it was an amazing top, and I wore it to death. Charles, fresh from the red light district. How are we doing?
Greetings and salutations. How you doing?
Neener. Look at that sun-baked face from the red light district.
It's never going to get old, Charles.
You never describe a sun-baked face in Amsterdam. It's pretty.
He's just been tipping through the tulips. And hey, hi, Bailey, wherever you are in the background.
Yeah, Bailey's sleeping, but she's a bit camera shy today.
There you go.
Charles is red faced because he's been biking to the windmills.
We're just going to we're pulling out all the stops tonight. All the Dutch cliches. Here we go.
We are. Sparky!
Award. The multi-award winning.
Sparky.
All right, Sparky.
Yes, and I understand you've won an award as well, Dan. Is that right? I've been seen online there.
Oh no, I gave out awards last night. We gave out 10 awards last night.
Awards last night.
Yep.
Oh well, yeah. I'll tell you what, 10 1 to me means.
The Golden Emu Awards. Yep.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Loved it. I was tuned in.
Cheers, Sparky. Thank you.
What a great
All
start.
right, Baz, what's on the agenda? It's you're the host. Come on now.
I'm the host. I am not saying a word tonight until probably the very, very end.
Provocation.
Yeah. I'll try not to, but I'll obviously I'll be refereeing. So the rules are: if someone's speaking, you don't speak. If you need to speak, you put your hand up. If you try and talk over someone, you get muted.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it's we need to have a fair debate tonight on this, because they are hard-hitting questions. The questions that need to be asked of the owners and the manager and the team and everybody, even Robbie. And I just want to hear everyone's views, and I want to hear them. You know, there's no right or wrong answer. This is your personal opinion on how things are going right now in the season. And obviously it's, you know, it's been very up and down, hasn't it? So we've got, is Eddie the right man for the job? We've got, have Piff done enough? Is blaming the summer window running thin now? And where will we finish in the season? And I've got some other little fun things lined up, potentially, if we've still got some spare time. So I want to start with Piff, first of all. I think it's harsh to start talking about the manager until you talk about the owners and where you feel they've either done great things, poor things, what have they missed a trick on. So the owners have obviously, they took a bit of a backseat. We've gone through how many sporting directors and COFs and DOFs and all this sort of stuff. It's been very turbulent behind the scenes. So first of all, Dan, have Piff done enough? And if they have, what have they done well? If they haven't, what could they have done better?
First things first, good evening, Baz. Thank you. And panel, obviously.
Here's my award. I accept this on behalf of...
Let's just say in the 4 years since the takeover, I think Piff has done magnificently well, as best they could have done, given the rules and regulations that have been put in place in order to keep us from doing what other clubs have done prior to those rules and regulations being put in place. How's that?
Sure.
I also think it's fair to say that yes, they took their foot off the pedal somehow at the end of last I just saw what I did there. No, at the end of last season, they took the foot off the pedal by not helping, by not naming the new CEO sooner for Darren Eales. I'm sorry. Darren Eales announced a year ago that he was stepping down and that he would be involved in the cross section or the cross training of his replacement. Well, then a year went by and we heard a whole bunch of nominees, but we didn't hear who was actually being named. And then, yes, the aforementioned multiple directors of football, and for whatever reason, they just didn't seem to work out. There have been some who have charged that Eddie has too much power. He wields too much power at the club because of how well he's done. But I think Piff took the foot off the pedal somehow at the end of last season. I don't know if it was, post cup coital, exuberance, and they were just basking in it, and let's coast through the summer. I think we all dealt with the rat situation all summer. I think everything was a slow roll, and it was exactly the opposite of what Eddie had demanded of them before the end of last season. He said he wanted to get the transfers in. He wanted to get them soonest because he wanted to get them bedded in and get them involved in the culture of the club and the camaraderie that was in the dressing room. And unfortunately, we didn't see any of that happen until the very last day of the transfer window. And with that, I return my time.
So the question is, do you think they've let Eddie Howe down?
I said that they have done as best they possibly could to support Eddie, except for over the summer. I think they took their foot off the pedal.
Interesting. Helen?
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Piff and all of that stuff, so just my answer will probably be very short. I think I agree with everything Dan has said. So that's my politician's answer. I agree with everything that Dan says. What I will say is I do think they made the right call in making Eddie head of recruitment. I think that makes sense. I think that's an obvious, to me, that's obvious. And I didn't even know that that wasn't the case. And that just makes sense to me that a manager would be head of recruitment. So I think that was a good call. I completely agree. I think the summer was a shambles. And I think that was handed poorly from the top all the way down to the individual involved and his representation. I feel like from their press people, from their PR people, from the owners, and I think it probably, their input or lack of, I imagine, and we don't know, but I imagine probably strained things between Eddie and Isak and probably made it more complicated than it needed to be. And I think that's a shame, because I would like to think, as people who had a good working professional relationship, that almost needn't have happened. But I think due to the way that people behaved outside of their control, and on Isak's side as well, because I mean that agent of his, needed to go. But so I'm not saying it's all us, but I feel like when you think of those two individuals and what we knew of them, my opinion of Isak has changed a lot now, actually. But what I thought of him as quite a calm, measured, sensible guy, and Eddie being Eddie and calm, sensible guy, I can't imagine if it was just those two in a room that it would have gone out the way that it had. So you can only think that it was the external people at play that was making things more difficult on both sides. That would probably be my take on the ownership, I would say.
Yeah, interesting take. Just to let you know, you mentioned about giving Eddie Howe all the control. That is very rare in football these days. What normally happens, if you look at the Brighton model, the owners hire a DOF. The DOF hires the manager to play the style that the club wants the football to be played at. So to give Eddie all that control is actually a little bit outside of a remit, but fully deserved, because he has run the club, hasn't he? Because there's been that much turbulence behind the scenes. It feels like he's had to do everything, the poor man, and he hasn't really had a summer's rest, all that sort of stuff. So that it is a bit of an anomaly that he has as much power as he does, because technically if you're sacking the manager, then you're also sacking the recruitment and everybody else that goes on top of it. So very interesting though. Sparky, come on, mate.
Hey, evening. Good to be back on the show. My ninth appearance, Alan Shearer came on. But yeah, I mean, obviously in regards to have Piff let down Eddie Howe, I would say in the summer we didn't really handle the Isaac situation very well, did we? However, on the flip side of that, looking at the transfer window that would actually just accomplished over the summer, it was an absolutely fantastic summer. We've just had a little bit of bad luck as well along the way with the fullbacks being injured, Wissa getting injured at the Cup of Nations. So for me, I don't think Piff have actually let Eddie or the club down. Obviously, I know that we have been swapping and swapping all the manager, like obviously having a shuffle at the top. But it's what you do on the pitch at the end of the day. I mean, I know that the upstairs noise could affect the player and staff and management and things like that. But in Eddie, we trust. We haven't seen Eddie's full potential yet in the transfer market. We're just starting to see him shuffle the team about and getting them players in, such as Malik Chow, who was like, what an absolute buy. I would probably put him down as buy the season so far, like for Newcastle. And anyway, and yeah, I'm just a believer in the bigger project, because when Piff come in, the mess that Mike Ashley actually left the club in regards to revenue streams, commercial, advertisements, they were basically running it for the income for that, for the size of the club. They were running that like a League One Championship side, not this big massive club that Newcastle United actually is. So it does take a little bit of time to catch up on the commercial revenue side of things. But obviously, it kicked me in the teeth again. The PSR came in to stop him from doing it. Like, honestly, like the world is against Newcastle, but Newcastle United will never be defeated.
Someone on Twitter put that, right? Put Newcastle United will never be defeated. And then they literally put up a table, went, do you not see the last result? It's just like, oh, geez. Come on, guys. If you're going to support the football club, at least learn the chants from back in the day. It's Newcastle United, as in united together, will never be defeated. I was just
never
like,
ever be defeated. I mean, that's been my hashtag since I've been like 9 years old. You know what I mean?
I literally wanted to reach through the floor and grab them and just slap them. You know, just
Yeah.
to, like, you know, wake up. Jeez. Charles, your say, please.
Yeah, I think the original question was about how PIF done.
Yeah.
And well, listen, I mean, you know, they're an investment sovereign wealth fund, you know, so they're going to be fairly hands off. They're trying to appoint good people to run their investments. Now, how have they done? Yeah, they got this gentleman here to run it. They've got this basically one of the co-investors to run it, and they, you know, it didn't work because she was probably a bit too vociferous, and you know, you've got the CEO, and you can't have two captains on the ship. And then the CEO fell ill, and yeah, it took way too long to replace it. I mean, that was just crazy, and so I think that they failed on that. They failed on getting anything like spades in the ground. We're 4 years down the line, and I don't even see any application for planning permission for a training ground or a stadium, let alone announcements. I mean, you know, I'm a bit skeptical. I've seen so many things in the Northeast that have been announced. We're not even there with an announcement yet. Until I see spades in the ground, and even then, you want to be quite far down the line.
Hold on a minute. What's in your hand there? What's in your hand? What's in your hand? It looked like a massive spliff.
No. No, it's not that much fun. And the third thing.
That's why Bailey's sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When in Amsterdam, as they say.
Yeah. So the third thing, and I want to see spades in the ground. And the third thing is creative accounting. I think, you know, the Chelsea have a fantastic creative accountant. We don't have any sponsor for the training kit, for the ground, for the name. It seems to be like so much low hanging fruit that we're missing out. So that's on the negative side. Now, on the other hand, 4 years ago, when you said, "Listen, we're Champions League qualified twice in a row," blah blah blah, we're happy, you know. But there's work to be done, and you know, there's still no reason why we don't win the Champions League this year.
Budapest is calling.
Oh, shots.
Still on.
Champions League winners. There's some good points in the chat just to follow up on what you said there, Charles. Apparently, there's 30,000 emails from Newcastle Council about the new ground. Apparently, you can look them up, which is very interesting. I didn't know that. This is another good point. I think due to the Euros in 2028, St James has been one of the tournament stadiums. Do they need to rush it? But again, you'd want an idea of where the ground's going to be, don't you? Because I mean, let's face it, it's not going to be built. Well, would it be built in time for 2028? I don't know. These guys are brilliant at doing things, aren't they? There was another one somewhere. There's a couple of other I've kept. What PIF usually do is hire the best to run businesses on their behalf, and football isn't quite like the usual business. There's no doubt on paper they recruited well, but it obviously failed. So that's my criticism of PIF. Is they're meant to be this massively well-run company. Obviously, they are. The wealth is unbelievable. But why have they got it so wrong? Is it greed from the people who were hired, like Dan Ashworth? I mean, a great job for him to have his hands on, and then he pisses off to Man United, who were in massive debt, you know, and then he gets sacked 4 months later. And I think the Newcastle were at the best when they had Amanda, Meerdad, and Ashworth. Mm-hmm. Things seem to happen. Whether people say it was good or bad in the end, I thought we had an identity in a football club at that point. Go on, Dan.
Is it because we hired Darren Eales? Is it because we hired? You know, we started to see that slippery slope. You know, we had the feel good factor, as I think it was Nubadoc or Gary in the comments said. You know, since Meerdad and Amanda were driven out of the club for whatever reason, you know, if it was her bankruptcy,
or whatever,
right? Yeah, whatever situation there is, we had a human factor, a feel-good factor.
Yeah.
The communication from the club to the fans was honest as it could be from what information was provided. Were we getting the full poop, the straight poop, nothing but the poop? I don't know. But I mean, we felt like we were being told the straight story, and we could rely on it. And Amanda always seemed up for it, always. Even when she would admit that she was nervous about a game, she was at least honest and transparent, and we have lost that since their departure.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's another good question on, obviously, your point that Helen made is, how do you handle the Isak situation well, though? He literally went on strike, and with the compensation bonus paid, it's still pretty close to the 150 million we wanted. So Liverpool did come with a bit of 110 million. We were saying it wasn't enough. We weren't going to sell them unless they meet the valuation. And then Liverpool didn't come back to us till the last day of the transfer window with the valuation we wanted in a situation to sort the problem out. So it is a very hard way to sort it out. Liverpool really wanted Isak to put a transfer request in, but he didn't because he wanted his bonus. So there's a lot of greed between all three parties, including ourselves, but we're in our right to ask for what we valued the player at. So I don't know how else Newcastle could have handled it, to be fair. I think Isak...
Forget about that. I mean, it
is, but it's part of the show.
Good money for him. Let's move on.
I still like to take the piss.
Got a good deal though, and just let you know, for moving forward for like January, summer, it's literally sorted or PSR clean out. Yep. So happy shopping in January, Eddie.
It has for 3 years, but it becomes dicey again after that because of the way the cycle works. So you've got to be careful. It's not sorted completely. It's just giving us a bit of breathing space for potentially 4 windows, and then we might have to sell something. Mm-hmm.
Helen?
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say, just to clarify, what I meant by that is exactly what else has been commented, is the communication, like the communication that I feel that we would have got if it had still been Amanda here.
Yeah.
Through all of that, and you know, I mean, I know the press is the press, and you don't believe anything until you hear an official statement. I know that, but like the clickbait and the articles and the rage that was going on social media was crazy, and I don't think they nipped it in the bud quick. Nobody nipped it in the bud quick enough.
Leaving him,
just put people down. Just let us finish. Just to put to put pay to it, to say that, you know, this is actually what's going on, or we're handling it like and I feel like we would have gotten that from previous owners, but the fact that it just went on and on and on and on with silence, that's what I mean by it wasn't handled. I think the comment's right. I think it was a terrible situation, and there was absolutely greed on both sides, but I think it's that personal touch that I think we would have got. And that we would have got better communication had we had different owners.
Yeah. But Helen, who's the press officer? There's a guy sitting next to Eddie Howe in these press conferences. What's his bloody job? He should have. The guy was asking. All the journalists were asking questions. After one question, okay, we've had enough on that. We move on. What is he doing?
I agree.
It's shocking.
They're not handling the press well at all.
It's 101 on managing press PR. It was shocking what happened in the summer.
Yeah, it was shocking, and I understand the frustrating from our fans' point of view. But you look at any other football club. I speak to Martin obviously very regularly. He was a Man City fan. I asked him how many times did they hear from their owners or from their football club on any of the business. He said, if we're lucky, once a year.
All right.
And how many times did we hear from Amanda and Amir Dad and Jamie Rubin and all that sort of stuff all the time? Technically, we could be looked at being very spoiled because we've had amazing, PR owners who were fantastic with the fans. But you look at other well-run football clubs like Chelsea, like Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. You don't hear from anyone. So maybe we've been spoiled, and maybe they've set a precedent that nobody can reach or hit. If that makes sense.
But Baz, they don't hold the manager out to dry, like what happened. That was absolutely shocking. What happened?
Maybe they wanted to not give out any information about the transfer itself. They didn't want to say he was up for sale. They didn't, Eddie Howe was always saying, I want to keep him, he's welcome back and all this sort of stuff. It's a tough one because until he was sold, that was the door shut.
In the press conference, they should have asked one question, maybe two questions, and that's it. Move on. Talk about another thing.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. It just it would have been better to have seen the club protect the manager more during those press conferences, because he really did seem like he was out on a limb by himself, and he wasn't getting any. Of course, he has to continue to extend an olive branch to the player. He's the guy who has to work with him day in, day out. The owners get to show up, on game day in the executive box and hobnob with other executives and network with people and make sure everybody's there to have a good time and that things are going well on the day. Everybody's there to judge the results that are on the pitch, and the person that's in charge of that shouldn't be the one who's having to answer all the bloody questions. And I agree with Charles on that. The club really let Eddie down there. So I think in the answer to the original question, have they done a good job? I said it in my comments. I thought that they've done a phenomenal job with the resources that we have, that we've been limited to. We can't complain. Eddie's spent 600 million pounds in 4 years. That's 600 million in 4 years. Chelsea spent 1.6 billion in 1 year. So, it's
get it.
Yep.
Get it. The other thing with that, though, 600 million over 4 years is 8 transfer windows. Yeah. And it only works out at about 75 million per window, doesn't it?
Yep. That was the point I made. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not a lot, really, when you think about it, when what Chelsea have spent, and people keep throwing money into it. It's like, yes, money helps, but the manager also needs to adapt the right playing style and train them well.
And to Charles's point, the creative marketing that Chelsea is, or was it Sparky said that the creative the revenue streams that somehow other clubs has figured out, we are still trailing, and we need to figure those out.
And I think that's where maybe the club's been let down, rather than Eddie's being let down potentially.
And why we see Silverstone is leaving and we've got new personnel coming in. So, yep.
Good one. Right. 16 months, Jimmy. Thank you very much. Great support, as always. He's a lovely lad.
Thank you, Jimmy.
And he's right. If PSR, PIF would dominate football potentially, and that's why they brung everything into play, didn't they? So, one of those ones. That's a good one on PIF. I like that one. So, where should we go next? We'll go, is blaming the summer window running thin now? Charles, it always seems to be, the players were bought on the last day of the window. He's not leaving. It has been a big issue, but we're now, is it 11 games we're in? With 6 in the Champions League groups. We've won most of our home games. It's the away form that's really poor.
I think Visser's injury was just unbelievably unlucky. The guy, this guy, he was critical. And the guy, he hasn't played a game. He hasn't even, so he was critical, Visser. That's why we were prepared to pay a ridiculous amount of money for a guy his age, because he was so critical. Because he was so important, we were prepared to pay that much, and it's backfired badly. I'm sure he'll be a great player for us, but we've lost him for more than a quarter of a season already.
It'll be longer, won't it? By the time he comes back, it could be half a season.
It's a disaster. There's no sugarcoating it.
There's not, but do you not think with Voltemada, Ramsey,
Chow
as well?
Decent players. You're right. We've got some decent players, and frankly, I thought the first 3 or 4 games of the season we were playing quite well, but we didn't have any focal point.
Cutting edge.
The confidence is draining from the guys up front. It's draining. It's I don't know. Anyway, we're still going to win a Champions League, though.
That's a great point. Maybe the biggest mistake was allowing him to go on international duty when he wasn't fully fit, or making sure when he was on international duty, they actually managed these minutes better, because he got flogged because they were desperate to win games potentially. So, but it's down to the player as well. Sparky, is it running thin now, blaming the summer window for the current plight?
Once again, I'm just going to refer back to what I was saying, like on my last comment. I mean, obviously that whole situation with Isaac wasn't ideal. The fact that Liverpool hopped on our main target whilst trying to nab Isaac so we couldn't actually have Isaac or Ekitike at the same time. So they did do a proper dirty there. But like for me, like as I said, we brought in Wissa. Like as overall, the summer transfer, I think, was brilliant. We got rid of the Bradford. We brought in Ramsdale, nice, perfect upgrade. We brought in obviously Malik Chow, which is like absolutely unbelievable. Like Ramsey, looks like he's going to be a great upgrade for Sean Longstaff in the long run. Yeah, we brought in Anthony Elanga. Obviously, he's had a bit of a shit show. We're not going to buttercoat it at all because obviously he's had an absolutely disaster for the whole all social media force that he was like, oh yes, I'm on my way to Newcastle, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and he's done absolutely F all. But like, and then as I say, it's like I think we've beaten then obviously Walter Mora, absolutely cracking young talent. Germany's young superstar of the year as well, by the way, not just a footballer, but he's also like a model as well. And he's like Adidas is like star kid basically. So I think we've done really well there since we'll be able to tap into the German market with merchandise and things like that. So I think we've had a solid like summer. We've just had a bit of a disaster off the pitch with like the two fullbacks getting injured. We've had to improvise putting Dan Burn that left back, which has been fully exposed. Obviously, we got ending up getting him sent off like in the last game as well, you know. So I think like once we get a fully fit Newcastle United, I think that's like the second half of the season. Just like as all my life as a Newcastle fan and a Newcastle supporter and a Newcastle follower, we've always had a disaster first half of the season and then come out like from like January onwards and had a solid finish. So like too early to tell. But overall, I think we've had a cracking summer.
Love it. Helen?
Yeah, so my answer is twofold. So yes, I do think that what happened over the summer has gotten in people's heads. Personally, I think that it has become obvious now that the whole team was built around Isak and getting the ball at the end of his foot and him scoring. And that now that he's gone, we've had to completely rejig and rethink. And then there has been the issues with Wissa not coming in and filling that spot as perfectly as he would have had we had him. But yes, I do think that it's wearing thin now. I think that's fine to say at the beginning of the season. And certainly in the pre-seasons, you know, we were not doing well at all in the pre-season friendlies. And they're games you would expect to just be absolutely, you know, smashing it. And we weren't. So I think that there's that excuse can only last for so long. And so I think it is absolutely what I still use it, but I'm being ever the optimist that it's fine. We're still all a bit pissed off about Isak, so let's let them, you know, get that out of their system. But yeah, it's, you know, come on, it's like you say, it's what 11 games in now, and we shouldn't be, and they're training regularly and whatnot. But also, totally agree with what Charles and Sparky have said as well, that we've been absolutely plagued by like unfortunate injury. But you know, on the flip side again, Botlamada's really stepped up and, you know, and really, you know, helps out a lot, particularly in the Champions League games. So yeah, a bit like, well, as usual, sitting on the fence a little bit. So yeah, I am still using it as an excuse. It should be used as an excuse is a different thing.
It's a tough one because we're doing so well in the Champions League, and then you're not doing well in the Premier League. You can't. We need both. We can't just have one. And if it is one, it needs to be the Premier League, not the Champions League for me, because Premier League's your bread and butter. Dan.
So I agree. I don't disagree with anything anybody has said in answer to this question. I do have a question. I was raising my hand. I know, but no. The comment there was a comment, and I think it was probably Leslie in the comment, that the question about Vissa, going on international duty and getting injured. Was he even our player then? When
Yes.
he got injured? Was he ours at that point? He signed for the club when he got injured. Okay, fair enough. I was that for me, the timeline wasn't tracking for me, but okay. So fully agree that here's we invested a crap ton of money on this player, expecting him to fill a role, an absence that we were truly feeling and didn't realize that we were missing it, until Vissa got injured. I mean, we were fully expecting he was going to come in as soon as we got him and go like gangbusters, but it was that first international window that bit us in the butt. We all know that we were smarting with the Rat going on strike and not fulfilling his contractual duties during the summer, angling for that departure, not doing what he could do to help the club that paid his wages at the time for those first 4 games of the season. I mean, you go back and look at that Villa game, you go back and look at that Bournemouth game. I think if we had a fit, raring to go Rat in the number 9, pounding in goals, we would have been. Those are points that we were lost.
Liverpool at home as well.
Correct. I think we recruited well. I think we've been bitten by the injury bug again, but at the same time, we're flying in 2 other competitions. For whatever reason, the rotation factor is not helping us because we're not using it. We're not the man management part of the job. I think Eddie has I won't say slacked, because quite arguably he hasn't had anything else to. He hasn't had any other options. Playing Dan Byrne 3 games in a week at left back, when we know that left back is not his proper position, even though he will never buy a beer on Tyneside ever again in his life because of 2 headers in 2 different competitions that everyone in the region will remember for the rest of their lives. We also know he's not a left back, and he's been horribly exposed. But the fact of the matter is, we didn't have an alternative. When Target or Hall has been injured, we've been able to play Livramento out there. We haven't had Livramento to play out there because he's been injured. We've had to play Kraft. We've had to play Byrne. We've had to play the game against West Ham. We've had 4 different players play right back, and the one who ended the game, and the one who ended the game at right back isn't even a right back. I mean, we had Chow, we had Kraft, we had who else? Murphy, and then we had Tonali. We've been stretched thin in aspects of our game because we haven't had any alternatives. I suspect that the club will search for ways to put that right. During our show yesterday, someone in the comments asked about young Alex Murphy. Young Alex Murphy did, Baz, we saw him play against Atletico. I watched him against Espanyol the night before. He's a tidy player, but I'm sorry, he just doesn't have the experience yet to be depended on week in, week out in the Prem. I think he's one that we're going to have to put on, a fast track and get him some minutes somewhere else, preferably in this country where we can get him back fairly, or with a recall clause. I don't want to do what we're doing with Cordero, where he's not even getting in the match day squad. But I mean, we've got tools. We've just, unfortunately, the tools have been mismanaged, and broken, that we haven't been able to use. I think, as I said yesterday, and I said in our show over the weekend, I still don't think we've seen our best 11 yet, because we haven't had all of the pieces of that particular jigsaw available to us at the same time.
Good point. Charles?
I just want to say about Dan Burn. I don't want to start going about Dan Burn and the fact of left back, and ultimately, I think it's only cost us. I can only think of actually one game These cost us.
Yeah.
And that was when he should have been taken off. It was quite clear. It was on a yellow, and that was like it was so obvious that he needed to be taken off. And we had a hungry left back ready to come on. So I think he's actually played quite well. The problems are not there. The problems are up front.
Yeah,
we're not scoring the goals that we need.
That's it. Yep. We're not even shooting.
Yeah.
There's just no creation at all. At the start of the season, ironically, when we had no striker, we were doing quite well for the first 3 games, 4 or 5 games, even the 4, 5, 6 games. But the last 3 or 4 games, it's just gone completely off. At the front of it's the top, the front 3 where the problems are, and the midfield is stopped gelling as well. So obviously we've got problems with the left and right back, but Dan Burn is the least of our problems.
Right, here's my take on not scoring enough goals or not getting enough shots off or not getting enough chances. It is because we have Dan Burn at left back and Trippier at right back at times. Not because Dan Burn's playing badly. It's just that Dan Burn is not the quality of a Lewis Hall. That's the difference. Dan Burn struggles to get up and down the pitch. I mean, fair play to him. He's put some unbelievable crosses in at times, and you wonder where the strikers are on the midfield are getting on the end of it. But you saw that cameo of Lewis Hall for 30 minutes when he came on in the home game, wasn't it? In the Champions League. Completely different to what Dan Burn offers. And that's where we lack. Yeah. Our wingers need 2 aggressive wing backs, left backs and right backs going past them to then make the defender have like, oh crap, he's going over there. Do I go towards the ball? Do I now have to mark that man? That puts indecision into it. And that's where Lewis Hall and Tino thrive. Yes, they're not Hall, I think, has actually got great shot, great delivery, where Tino's a little bit more erratic when he gets into the box. But the fact is that they're a danger going down that side. Defenders need to watch them. That gives more space for our inverted wingers, which is what they need to be when they've got them burning on the outside. That gives you a whole different dimension to our attacking formation. And the problem is when you got Dan Burn and Trippier's a little slower as well going up front, but he's got great quality on his crosses. Dan Burn just doesn't have that legs and that quality on the ball, what Lewis Hall gives you. So it slows the player down. And that is where the issue is. We want to play fast, attractive football in the final third when we've got low blocks. You can't do that with Dan Burn because he doesn't have the ability, I guess. But you put Dan Burn as a left centre-back, I don't care if Botman's not playing or Chow's not playing or Shaw's not playing because of Dan Burn, because he's a different player when he's playing in his correct position. That's why he's got an England call-up, because he plays that left centre-back. So, as much as we can't blame Dan Burn, I will not blame him because he's been asked to play that position because we've got nobody else. The team's tried to adapt to it and we struggled. It's as simple as that.
But not just because of him. I don't.
No, you're right. You're right. It's not because of him, but it foils the formation. It foils the gameplay. Voldemort is a much more effective player when he comes deeper, when he's got 2 wing backs flying up, and also Gordon and Barnes or Alanga, whoever, because then he's got more options to flick the ball on, to play it into space. We're more dangerous. It's like the red arrows going forward. At the moment, it's like the blue arrows going forward.
Well, we look very predictable. We look very easy to defend.
That's the problem, because we don't have those overlapping wing backs like we do when Tino and Hall play. You see, it's there we go. Exactly. I mean, I personally believe that. Again, you might not agree, but I don't think Dan Burn's at fault. I feel sorry for him because if he was asked to play in goal, he would go in goal and give 110%. It's not his fault we're losing games. It's just the injury situation, like we've all mentioned, is very, very... It's basically tearing our whole game plan up. And Voldemort, when you saw him playing well in scoring goals, who were the wing-backs? Hall and Tino.
Yeah.
So you can see the drop-off when they don't play, which, again, any team would struggle a little bit, to be fair. It's frustrating, isn't it?
Sparky, I think you want to say.
Yeah, I mean,
just
just obviously on top of what we were just saying over, like regarding like obviously the performances and things like that. when you look at like individual shifts that players have been putting in, you can say that Anthony Gordon's been nowhere for the last 6 months. You know,
apart from the Champions League, he's been poor.
Yeah, but apart from the Champions League, he really turned it on. Incredible in the Champions League. But like now that he's got that injury, I think that it's really good that Barnes has had that chance to flourish. And I was really good that wasn't that he got that goal, but I just can't wait until we've got like a fully fit squad, like firing on all cylinders, you know.
Mm-hmm. We'll come to that later because I do actually have what potentially could be our best 11 and I want your thoughts on it. But let's move on to, is Eddie Howe the right man for the job? I'm hoping this is going to be a very quick, easy question to answer. But again, it's always good to have different opinions sometimes, even though some of them are absolutely ridiculous. Dan, we'll start with you and go around the houses like we have done. I go one way, then I go the other way. It just makes it easy.
Sorry, I had Metallica in my headphones. That's why I was headbanging. No, Eddie is absolutely the man for the job. There's no doubt in my mind, and I've said this on several occasions. I hope he becomes our Sir Alex Ferguson. I hope that he's at our club for years to come. I continue to maintain that I think our owners will continue to back him. I believe that the players will continue to run through walls for him. We're still playing catch up to the top six. They had a decade head start on us, and the Prem is a different animal than it was a decade ago. So I'm just saying, Eddie Howe is absolutely the right guy for the job, and full stop.
Love it, Helen.
Yep. Totally agree. Don't really think there's much more that you can add. I think it's indicative, isn't it, that of every time we go, you've got to ride the wave, haven't you? You've got to ride the wave. You've got to take the rough with the smooth. You can't just have it good all the time. And we've had 2, if not 3, amazing seasons, all things considered. And that's all down to Eddie. And you can't just then have a bad 6 months and suddenly call for him to be sacked. Like, that's not the way that it works. So we're not judging him on the last 6 months, we're judging him on the last 4 years. So, and I think it was shared in one of our chats about, we shouldn't be talking about sacking, we should be talking about statues. Like, this guy got us the first trophy in 70 years. Like, that's, all of the things aside, like, there's that. And I just think, again, it's the noise on social media. I think it's very indicative. I don't know how you guys feel because you're probably a little bit closer to it than I am, but I hear from people, I know people who, there is a type of fan who nothing will please them. And I know that, everyone's got an opinion, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. And, in honor of respecting everyone's opinions, that's totally fine. But I know of a guy who will not rate Jacob Murphy no matter what. He made up his mind on him. He won't clap for him. He goes to every home match. He won't clap for him. He won't say his name. He won't do anything. And that's ridiculous to me, that he has made up his mind so vehemently that that's it. Doesn't like him, will never like him, can't change his mind. And I feel like there's definitely a type of fan, and it's the fans that I think are the ones who are now calling for Eddie to be sacked, that feel that because they have supported for X amount of years, or because they know a couple more extra stats than other people do, they feel that they are more qualified to make these judgments. And it's, again, their opinion, and they're entitled to it, but their opinion is wrong in my mind. It's the people who shout the loudest that get the attention, isn't it? So the people who are being controversial, or the people who are saying like, well, sack what? Because we've played a couple of bad. Why though? All the things we've discussed today. Why are we playing poorly? It's not all down to Eddie. Like, the players have to take some ownership and accountability. The owners have to take some accountability and ownership. It's, you can't just put it all on one. I'm going on a tangent now. I know it's a results-based game, and I get that, and I know that different people have different benchmarks of what they see from people, but I totally agree with Dan. I think he should be our Alex Ferguson. I want him to be here for years and years to come and ride that wave, because Man U used to be absolutely unbeatable, unstoppable at one point, and they're not anymore. So, it ebbs and flows. Sunderland used to be shite. Sadly, they're not anymore.
There will be again.
It's just an ebb, and will flow again. So
I agree. Charles?
Yeah, listen, I mean, I saw some people criticizing Eddie Howe, and I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, that these people should be shot at dawn. and then I thought about it, and I thought, why wait till dawn?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I think
The
Charles
thing
just
is,
summed it up right there. Boom,
I
they're
think he
done.
did. Yeah. You see, criticism of what Eddie Howe's doing right now in gameplay management, things like that, absolutely fine with. Have you say, get on with it. But to go to the polar opposite and then say, he needs to be sacked, it's just, you've got to weigh things up, guys. Sparky,
Yeah,
follow that.
yeah, I'm going to follow that. I mean, just to round off, I totally agree with everyone saying, whoever says Eddie out needs shot in the morning. We're going to the dawn shoot.
Why wait till the morning?
Why wait till the morning? I'll go and ruin for you, mate. But yeah, I mean, obviously Eddie is our leader at the end of the day, and the fact, I mean, us as Geordies, we've accepted him in. His sons are Geordies, and to top it off, he's getting a trophy, like Helen was saying. And over the summer, we've given the key to the city, and we didn't want it back. So Eddie for life.
Where else is he going to put his cows?
Oh, yeah. Right, Choppy. Someone's message, obviously, I put a big message up, just a lot of people have seen it. But this is how it was summed up by Mike, and I think he summed this up brilliantly. Come a long way in a very short time. Yes, we spent money, but we're coming from way back at brackets Big Six. Any NUFC fan calling for Howe to go is acting like an entitled brat. It's the same lot who was calling for him to go this time last year. Then 70 years of hurt ended. So yeah, I think he. It's pretty well put as well, to be fair, isn't it? Imagine Eddie Howe in charge of another club. Oh, I'd hate that. I would hate to see him in charge of another club. No, I really would. Right, you mentioned obviously a lot about Eddie Howe, and there's a lot of reasons why he should keep his job. First of all, this is one of the main reasons for me. Since he took over, he's got the fourth highest points in the Premier League out of any manager. Some people say, well, look at Emery, what he's done for Villa. Emery turned us down because he didn't want to take on the challenge that Eddie Howe did. Mm-hmm. And I always say to everyone,
100%.
Who else would have done it better? Nobody. Yeah. No one's given me a name. No one will give me a manager's name of who could have done the job that Eddie Howe did when he took over. So there's another one. This has obviously come from Ross Gregory. Forget about the sack. There should be a statue. Couldn't agree more. And on regards to the current plight, when you look at this league table, it doesn't look as bad as what it actually is. So I know we're clumped at 12th, but look at all we've got 12 points. Yeah. But then you look ahead, we're only 7 points behind Sunderland. We're only 6 points behind Spurs, Aston Villa, Man United, Liverpool, Bournemouth. We're only 5 points behind Crystal Palace. We're only 4 points behind Brighton, Brentford, and 3 points behind Everton. We
just need to score goals, and then we'll turn this around.
Sure. It just takes the run that we went on last season, and we will fly up this table because nobody is consistent other than Arsenal. That is pretty obvious on this table. And I
think Charles is right. I think if we start seeing goals fly into the goals flying into the net, I think if we start seeing, our scoring boots producing again, I think confidence will start to shoot through the roof. Right now, I think the squad is lacking severely in confidence for whatever reason in the Prem. We're just, for whatever reason, I don't know if we've been sussed out. We've been,
It's away from home, though. This is the thing. Our home form is not as bad as what everyone makes it out to be. We've lost to Liverpool and Arsenal. But then you look at our away form, it's shocking. And that wasn't like that last season.
No, agreed. Yeah. I still say, get us our injured back. I'm not banking everything on that, but I truly believe we will see an improvement when we get players back from injury. And I also truly believe that there will be some additions in January. I think it might not be many. It might be one. It might be two. We might see a lone player come in that gives us a little bit more squad depth in the event that we lose some key pieces. We've got a lot of depth now at center back. We've talked about that many times. Yeah. We've got a lot of depth in central midfield. We've talked about that many times. We are still severely lacking at both fullback situations and up front. Yeah. And up front, we've got depth at the wings. We've got depth in center midfield. We've got depth in the spine of the team. Other than the tip of the spear, is stout. So we need a cutting edge up front. We all know that Nick Valdemata, for all of his good points, is not a 9. It's very hard for him to be at the front of every creative move and then also finish it. He's not a world-class sprinter. He's 6'7" and he's got 9-foot legs, but he can't move them as fast as we want them to. His what we've seen him do with the ball at his feet, with a much higher center of gravity than most of the defenders that he's up against, is magical. And I truly believe that we pair him up with a poacher, someone who can finish whatever he creates. I think we will start seeing a completely different Newcastle United from the one that we've seen in the Prem so far this season.
Yeah, agree with that. Right, we all mentioned about seeing the best side. Now, obviously, the debate will always be, does the best side include Ramsdale or Pope? For this one, Ramsdale's in there. But is this what everyone thinks our best side is? Because this is personally what I think Eddie Howe wanted to do until Wisser obviously got himself injured. So change the formation to a 4-2-3-1. Voldemort in the 10, Wisser up front, Gordon on the left. And you can argue Murphy, Barnes, Alanga on the right. Obviously, the two sitting in midfield are always going to be Tonali and Bruno. And then your back four, again, you can argue your back four until the sun comes in because, like I said, Dan Burn's been exceptional at left centre-back. Shaw didn't deserve to lose his place. He lost it through concussion, but Chow's come in and been unbelievable. And Botman's been, Mr. Reliable as well. I would say Botman's probably the one that really needs to worry about his place, to be fair. And then Livramento, Hall, as we know, and then Ramsdale or Pope and Gold. Is this what you all think is our best side? I'll start with where did we want that way? Charles first this time.
Listen, I mean, that looks like fantasy football. I like looking on the screen there. Looks pretty unbelievable. I would say Gordon on form and Alanga on form instead of Murphy. Because Alanga is a decent player. Come on, yes. we didn't buy a dud. We know he's a good player, but and Botman hasn't been playing that well. To be fair to him, but look at that team. Yeah, it looks like something out of fantasy football, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's an unbelievable starting 11. And then you've also got Joe Linton sitting on the bench, Ramsey sitting on the bench, Alanga sitting on the bench, Barnes sitting on the bench.
It looks like a Champions League team.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I agree with that. Sparky.
Yeah, it looks pretty solid. I mean, the only thing, sorry to say this, but I'll be kicking Gordon out and having Harvey Barnes out there just because I love Harvey Barnes. I reckon he's absolutely class. And I think over the last few games when he's actually been brought in, he's actually built up a really good relationship with Guatemala as well. So apart from that, that's looking absolutely solid. Feel for Shaw, obviously he's absolutely such a servant for the club. However, Malik Chow has come in and he's just been absolutely phenomenal. He's the first name on the team sheet, to be totally honest with you. In regards to what you were saying about Botman, I think he is the one that needs to be worried about his place because obviously his performances have been a little bit dodgy over the last couple of games, including that own goal. But just what we've all been seeing, it looks like an absolute dream with a good headache on the bench for Eddie Howe.
Yeah, I agree. Helen?
Yeah, you can't disagree with that. I think exactly like Sparky says, it pains us to not have Cher in the team. because I think he just he does a great job, I think, and exactly like Sparky says, fabulous servant. Would I swap him out for Chow? No, because he's more than proved himself. If I could swap him out for Botman, I know that that wouldn't happen, but yeah, I would probably do that. And I just totally agree that out of that lineup, it would be Botman that I would be the most worried about. But I mean, how could you argue with that? I think that looks like a solid team.
I mean, you could put Shaw at left centre back. You could put Chow at left centre back and Shaw at right centre back.
Yeah, again, I mean, him and Chow together, I think would be unstoppable.
I honestly think the argument at centre back is so difficult for Eddie Howe because he's got 4 fantastic centre backs who will give everything for the team. And like I say, Dan Burns got whether people agree with it or not, he's got an England call up because of his form at centre back. So it's great to have that competition for places, and you can rotate. We've got so many games. This might look like the best starting lineup on paper, but you can argue for quite a few other players. To be fair, Dan.
That's the 11 that Jack and Eddie and I talked about yesterday.
Yeah,
I think this is our best 11, and again, the rotation factor. Murphy, Alanga, Barnes on the right. We've got Murphy, Gordon, Barnes, Joe Linton on the left. We've got. I mean, Vissa could play on the left. We've got lots of options when we have everybody fit, and to complain about fitness issues like we did 2 years ago, we've got a deeper squad than we did 2 years ago. We had championship players in our squad 2 years ago when we were trying to play Champions League ball. We're a better team than we are now, as evidenced by our placement in the new format in the Champions League. I think we are punching above our weight in the Champions League. I think we're right where we want to be in the Carabao Cup. I think as the defending champions, and it feels good to say that, in the Carabao Cup, I think we're holding our own there, and I think we are arguably the what's the word I'm looking for? The favorites for the Carabao Cup at this point. Yeah. I think we get everybody back. And other teams are going to have losses as well. They're going to have injuries to deal with. We've already talked about, the fact that the team down the road has several African players that they recruited over the summer that are going to be unavailable, or maybe not. We'll see. There's still so much more season to come. I'm not panicked, and I'm defending Eddie Howe to the hilt, and that's a hill I'm prepared to die on. Over.
Yeah. Yeah, I am literally Colonel Cuss at the top of the hill. I will die on the hill when it comes to Eddie Howe, just because of what he's achieved. That's the end of all those discussions, to be fair. So I've got a little bit of fun for you, a little bit. Two things to discuss. Your phone rings. 4 people are ringing you at the same time. You can only answer to one. Who will it be? Who are you answering? Dan.
I'm hitting the message button saying I'm on a call right now. I'll call you back.
I like it. Helen?
Holland for me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. Oh, well, it's okay. Sorry, I'm going to be a right girl about this. Is it now or in their prime?
In their prime.
Because if it's now, Ronaldo.
Well, yeah.
Nearly 40.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in their prime. If it's in their prime, it would be Messi.
Yes, good. That's the one I wanted. Charles? Wouldn't choose any of them. What, Gary?
Yeah, I like Ronaldo, actually.
Oh, no. He's boring. What would you say to him?
No, I like the guy. I think he's...
How's your plain chicken and rice going?
I think he would fit in well. I think he probably get a place in the team.
None. Jules, how can you say none to it's just a bit of fun. Come on, Sparky.
Oh, I'd like to see Peter Beardsley.
Oh, yeah, in his prime, definitely. I didn't make this, though. I just stole it. Sparky?
For me, and picking up the Cristiano Ronaldo all day of the week. For the prime Ronaldo, you know, for a fact, you're going to get goals, you're going to get free kicks, you're going to get like passion, you're going to get shirt revenue, you're going to get brand exposure, you're going to get the full package with Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo all day of the week.
Oh, I'm so disappointed in almost all the apart from Helen in the end, because there's only one name on there that deserves an answer, and that's Messi.
Why? He's done out.
No, he's not good in the air. He's not tall enough for Eddie Howe.
He's not good in the air, but yet his greatest goal, greatest goal, he says, was his header in the Champions League final against Man United, which he leapt like a salmon.
I personally have a bias against Messi simply because I think he has he has dominated all of the press for our domestic league over here. And it's just kind of, you know, it's gotten so dull and so over the top. I'm actually
a great marketing machine behind him as well. I mean,
great marketing machine. Yeah, he's selling all the products. He's selling Pepsi. He's selling Lowe's. He's selling, home improvement. He's selling Michelob Ultra, for crying out loud. But at the same time, I'm just sitting there going, I don't care where he does his grocery shopping. I don't care, hey, he had a poo at this gas station. I don't care. I literally don't care. I don't.
He won a Ballon d'Or a couple of years ago when it was nowhere near. He
won the World Cup.
He had a bad year. He had a bad year that year.
He won the World Cup with the greatest assist anyone's ever seen.
Crap. They didn't beat anybody decent. They won a few penalty shootouts.
No, don't say that, because that's all everyone says to Newcastle fans. You've never beaten anybody good.
But one thing I would say about Ronaldo as well, I completely disagree that he would fit in the team well. I think in his prime, he was the biggest diva, an absolute prima donna. I don't think Eddie Howe would want to manage him. I think he would be unmanageable. It would be all about him, and that is not what we're about at all. That's one of the reasons, rumours, that we didn't get Grealish, because the Eddie couldn't manage him, because it would be all about him. He didn't want the press about it. He didn't want all of the, poster boy stuff, because it's a team, and Cristiano Ronaldo was always about Ronaldo and not about the team. So I don't see Eddie. I don't think he'd fit in our squad at all.
I don't see Eddie Howe liking the man bun either.
No. I feel sorry for Grealish though, because he since he's gone to Everton, he's proved me wrong. Because I said I wouldn't take Grealish because of his attitude and the off-field antics and things like that. But he's proved me completely wrong. I think he's more humble than what people make him out to be. And again, that's the English press, isn't it? It's a pain in the backside. Right. What is the one thing you need for Derby Day, Dan?
Beer.
Helen?
A 4-0 win.
Ooh, good one. Can't have that as an answer though.
Yeah. I don't know. A nice bottle of wine.
Nice bottle of wine, Sparky.
Well, to be totally honest, we've got a Derby Day, Derby this weekend as well. So, basically, get yourself to St James's Park, get your tickets there, guys. Go and support the lasses. Make some noise, but make sure you don't get too carried away like you would in the men's game. But in regards to going out to Sunderland, what you need going over to Sunderland, coming into Derby Day, disinfectant.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man.
Brilliant.
I don't know what to say.
Sorry, guys. I couldn't resist.
Charles?
How can you top that?
No, I think you could plastic seagull maybe.
We just need Johan Visser.
Johan Visser. No, come on, he's a product. Come on, I want an answer.
No, we need
product. Domestos. There's only one product you need. I need one of these for Derby Day, because you do not want to be getting out of your seat to go into the bar to buy a drink. You just want to sit there in your jacket and drink it.
One, I want to see anybody try and get through the turnstile in that without spilling a drop.
Well, you shouldn't spill a drop unless you cut it open. That's the one thing I'd be worried about.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, all of the turnstiles I've gone in St. James's Park right now has been, I have to be Baz in order to get in. So
no. See, what you do is you bang on that big doors where they open them up for the disabled people.
Yeah.
So you just go, excuse me, come on.
I'm not disabled.
No, you are when you're wearing one of them.
If that's full as well, it would just look like a really bad coloured yellow coat. So there wouldn't
that's true.
Anything.
Yeah.
So
I had a piss earlier.
I know. A little bit dehydrated, I would say, but
no, I would fill it with Guinness. I would fill it with Guinness, and then it would just be a black jacket.
Yeah.
Oh,
no
I
problem.
tell you what,
With a white top across the
hanging off you.
I'm sorry, Sparky.
You would have Fiona hanging off you if you done that.
Have you guys seen? Have you seen the? I think it's TikTok where someone has taken that jacket and filled it with pickles and brine.
Oh wow!
No.
So I mean, he's walking down the street in New York and he just untaps it and pulls a pickle out and starts handing out pickle. It's hilarious. But I'm just sitting there going, no. So there you go.
Nay pickles, nay pickles.
Nay pickles.
Nay pickles. Jesus Christ. Right. Very quickly then, where are we going to finish, Charles?
6.
Ooh, just outside the Champions League places. That'd be heartbreaking. Sparky?
So don't hate me for this one, but like overall, I think Man United are starting to come back into form and things like that. I think Eddie's going to focus on getting a bit of silverware this season again. So I'm actually going to say rank 12 finishing position. However, with a Carabao Cup retain and a good run in the Champions League.
If we win the Champions League, let's say we qualify. So
yeah, we do. But the ideal scenario, right, is that like obviously I would love it, right, if Sunderland end up having like a really good season and they were about to qualify for Europe and we were like, all the way down here, win the Champions League and end up knocking them out of Europe. That would be absolutely
Sunderland never going to qualify for Europe.
It's good as that sounds, Sparky. Unfortunately, if you win the Champions League, you're in the Champions League. You don't knock any other teams out of it. Hence the reason why Spurs are in it. We've got 6 teams in it this year, haven't we? So I think they changed the rules around that because it was harsh on the team missing out, I think. So
yeah.
What would be better is if we won the Champions League and we were 6th and Sunderland were 5th, and then we finished 5th and then they finished 6th, and they wouldn't be able to go in the Champions League. Now, that would be fun.
That's what I want.
Have you looked at the hotels in Budapest? They're actually quite reasonably priced.
I wish I had your optimism. I wish I had your optimism. I really do. Helen, where we're going to finish?
I'm going to optimistically say we're going to make it back into the top half of the table. I don't think we're going to be as high. I don't think we're going to make Champions League again. I'm going to say 8th.
Ooh, 8th. That's not bad. Dan?
Yesterday, Jack and Eddie and I were talking about this. You know, we have yet to kick a ball in the FA Cup. And you win the FA Cup, you also qualify for the Champions League.
No, you don't. Europa League.
Okay,
Sorry.
fine, whatever.
On your
So, okay. So what we were all saying yesterday was, you make a good run in the Champions League, possibly even make it to Budapest. We're
starting that now, aren't we?
You have you seen a Macam in Budapest? It doesn't have the same panache. I think we will finish in the top half. I think, you know, if we finished in a Europa League spot or a Conference League spot, we retain the Carabao Cup. We go on a cup run in the FA Cup. You know, there's nothing to be snotted at there. I think that's good on everybody. So I'm with Helen. I think something like 8th, 7th, 8th, somewhere in that spot. But I think we're going to continue to do well in the cup competitions that we're in. I just think we're hurting, and we know we're hurting. But I honestly believe, like you said, Baz, you know, all it takes is a run here soon. I mean, if we get to Christmas and we're still in the same spot, then we're going to be we're going to be questioning lots more things. But I think in this particular position, I think we'll be all right.
That would be a great ending, wouldn't
That
it?
would be
Liverpool
hilarious.
Champions League final, 2-1. Dan
I would
Burn,
love it.
scores
I
the
would
winner.
love it.
I would love it.
I would
I
love
would
it,
love it.
baby.
Go on, Sparky.
Yes, so proud sponsors of the Through Black and White Eyes channel. Just like to say, if anybody is come to Newcastle for a visit for whatever the reason, come check out the Geordieland Experience, where we are uniting tourism, hospitality, and events, and we will make sure that your time in touring is an absolute belter.
That was too
The
small.
multi-award winning.
Well, you missed it. I can't
Multi-award
believe you
winning
didn't
for
say
that.
it. You had your chance to say it as well.
No, I didn't gloat.
I've got the evidence. Prince Charming, an unbelievable shop in Wallsend as well. Absolutely fantastic stuff. The clobber is amazing in there. They obviously do shirts, they do key cuttings, they do posters, they do everything from football memorabilia to music memorabilia to movie memorabilia. So if you're looking for a Christmas gift, a special something for someone, get yourselves down to Wallsend and find Prince Charming and have a chat with them, because they're very good. They've also got a page on Facebook, which is in the description. So if you want to go and check them out on there and contact them, please do so. Lovely little family-run business again, which is what we like to do, support little businesses and also local as best as we can. And also, for any of you Eddie Howe haters out there,
There you go.
had to be done. And that is the end of the show, guys. So thank you very much for being very respectful to everyone and great opinions. I really enjoyed listening. I tried to stay out of it as much as I could. It's very hard. That's all I'm saying. So thanks, Barry, Charles, Helen, Dan, as always. We will be back. I'm doing someone else's show tomorrow. Like, I don't know what it is, but
I'm glad you said show there.
Brilliant. He's a Forest fan and wants to talk about when we blew the league. It's just like, thanks.
It's even better that you're saying that you were on his show and not just doing some Forest fan.
Yeah.
That would be bad. So.
I like it. But yeah, well,
Thanks,
we're going to be talking about the season we blew the league. So he's going to bring a lot of bad memories back up again. So thanks for that.
Jason Pineapple Head.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, was that Southampton?
No.
He was Southampton.
Southampton. It was Steve Stone at Forest. It was who was the Newcastle born lad who played for Blackburn, and he managed Blythe. Graham Fenton for Blackburn scored the 2 goals to beat us 2-1 at Ewood Park. And then there was obviously the Liverpool game at Anfield, the 4-3. Yeah, it's all coming back to me, and now I feel depressed. Great. After all that hard work of having a good night. I don't know when we're back out, Dan. I don't know if we're going to be doing...
I told you.
We're going to win the Champions League. We're going to Budapest.
We're going to win.
Have you seen the Macam in Budapest? Budapest is a beautiful city, and that's with 30.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep. And it's split down the middle. That half of the city is Buda and the other half is Pest, because the river runs through the middle. I'm not kidding.
That's true.
No, I've already booked the time off work. I'm ready.
There you go.
Yeah.
See,
you also need to download George Ezra Budapest and just listen to that as well when you're on your way.
Absolutely.
Do we have to?
Hey, I've seen him live. He's very good. I like it. Anyway, we might be doing something on Friday. I don't know yet. I'm still waiting to hear from Martin. If we do, we'll let you all know.
Gives a bell, mate. Gives a bell. Be free, kid.
Once a week's enough for you, Sparky, mate.
Anyway, I'm off skis. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night, everyone.
See you later.